Welcome back to Vegas Slack with Ninon. I'm Ninon, your host, and you know where I am. I'm down at the Pepper Mill on my incredible red sofa, which I love. Anywhere I go in the entire world, this is coming with me, believe me, because I'm known for the red sofa. And I have Orvis with me. Now, Orvis, unusual name.
Yeah, it's a little different.
It is different. Where does that come from,
It's
Orvis?
Native American. It's Sharky.
It's Sharky.
Yep. Came from my grandfather a few generations back.
So Sharky is...
I don't know.
You don't know what? Oh, okay. All right. So this is your generation. This is kind of coming out of their generation.
It came out of my great-great-great-grandfather, who I guess at some point married a Native American woman and actually then kind of...
Indian.
Yep.
Yes.
From Cherokee.
Oh, how wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, you are in the medical business.
I am. I'm actually the operations chief with Guardian Elite Medical Services, which is a local ambulance service here in Las Vegas that's been in business since July of 2011. My boss, my chief, Sam Scheller, is the owner. He started this company off very young and progressively started to get bigger and bigger.
Did he start it in Vegas?
He started in Vegas. He came
So
from
you've always been in Vegas? Then?
No, I came from California.
Okay.
I was born and raised in California, and I started in the medical field in 1986 and became an EMT, and then became a paramedic in 1991. And in 1995, I actually started my own company, which I was doing special events and motion picture standbys and production stuff throughout California. We became the third largest production company in California.
In California.
Yep.
That's amazing. See, it's amazing what you can do in this world when you don't put any limits on yourself.
Yeah.
When you just go for it, and if it works, it works.
It works.
But you had a lot of experience of what you wanted to do
I
anyway.
did.
Now, is it against the law? 'Cause I was thinking of this the other day. I was watching a car follow an ambulance. Is it against the law to follow an ambulance?
It is. Yeah.
I figured that because I remember some time ago someone told me that. And they said and they're obviously following the ambulance because they can go as fast as the ambulance is
They can go fast through the
going.
intersections and stuff, and they can cut through the lanes and stuff, and people do that on all occasions.
Well, this is why I was thinking about it, because this guy was actually following.
Yep.
And I thought, isn't that against the law?
Anytime that we pick up a patient from a house and we take them to the hospital, we explain to them not to have the family members follow us. That sometimes we might have to turn the lights and sirens on to actually get to the hospital very quickly, and we tell the family members not to
Follow that, not to race and do the same thing.
And sometimes they do, and you have to kind of explain to them, and you can be pulled over by either Metro or the Highway Patrol and be cited for doing that.
And actually, probably, I would imagine they're kind of following around somewhere with you because of what's going on and what's happening, because they have the attention to do that, that's part of their job or their work or whatever it may be. Now, I've seen that Vegas has grown quite a lot in the last few years. So I don't want to say business must be good, but there must be a lot more business now than you ever had before. Is there, or is it hopefully less?
There's 2.5 million in Clark County alone. And what it is that there are only 4 ambulance service providers in the Clark County jurisdiction.
Which means that you're talking about Reno and everywhere, right?
Yeah,
So
just in Clark County alone in southern Nevada, we only have 4 ambulance services. Where I came from California, where we would have 20 ambulance services in one county, we only have 4 here. Yeah.
I'm like thinking to myself, do we need that many? Obviously we do.
Amazingly, yeah. When you have 2.5 million people, all the ambulance services that are local here are always running 24/7.
Do they really run? How many ambulances do you have?
We have 7 ambulances in our fleet. With the other companies that are here, some of them have up to 60 ambulances in their fleet that are 911 contracted
and
providers.
they all
running 24/7.
I mean, I'm flabbergasted. At the same time, I'm not, because I see a lot of things that people do that shouldn't be doing. So obviously, we see stuff going on and what's happening. What is the most? What's the highest one? Is it accidents? Is it houses? Is it pregnancies? Or what?
It's kind of funny when you drive around Vegas and you see all the billboards are for lawyers to talk about accidents, because there is a lot of accidents that happen. People travel from all around the world to come to Vegas. And they
don't know how to drive.
They don't know how to drive when they come here, or when it rains, everybody kind of loses their mind, and we have more accidents.
It seems like they don't. I think the reason that they have more accidents when it rains is because they don't realize that the roads are very greasy.
Yep, they get
because
very dark.
It gets very warm here and very hot, and then when the rain comes, it's like a
Turns
skateboard.
a hydroplane. Yep, it starts bringing all the oils up from the surfaces that actually make cars spin out.
Actually, make cars spin out and do all that whole thing and everything else. So, do you like what you're doing?
I do. I've been doing it for a long time. Like I said, I started off very young, and when I started off in 1986, I actually went to school, but I wasn't old enough, so I went through the program, and I couldn't graduate until I actually turned 18. So I started when I was 17 and went through the whole EMT program. And I volunteered with the Red Cross and did some stuff before I actually was able to start off becoming licensed and being an EMT. And I worked in the Bay Area up in Northern California. So I worked in Oakland, I worked in San Francisco. I worked in places where...
I know California and this kind of part of the world very well.
It was very weird to think that working in those big metropolitan cities where you actually have a lot of things going on all the time. And
Absolutely.
When I came here in 2015, it was kind of a perfect fit. I sold my company, and I pretty much decided I wanted to retire, and I had 20 years in with my company, and it was costing too much money to survive in California. It's just the insurance was killing me. It was just ridiculous.
Eats you up completely.
When I came here, my boss Sam Scheller actually hired me, and I actually went to work for him. And his goal was he wanted me to start off on the lower level and learn what Vegas was all about.
Vegas was also learn his business.
So I started off as a field line employee.
So you started off again. After you've been
all
through
the experiences.
Yep,
I had to start all over again. And
was that sort of like humbling?
It was very humbling in some ways because there was a lot to it to actually learn. This is a very different system compared to California. A lot of things are different here, the rules and regulations and stuff like that. Yeah. And I brought my experience. I was in the motion picture television industry for 20 years working on TV productions and movies and motion picture stuff. So I brought a lot.
Very different.
It was a different. I would go to LA a lot, and I spent a lot of my time in LA working on TV shows like Jackass or Nitro Circus. I worked on some feature films. My claim to fame was I did 8 seasons with Mythbusters up in the Bay Area, and became really good friends with Jamie and Adam, and worked a lot of their shows together, and we kind of just grew, and I started becoming more into the industry and seeing how it developed, and safety was the biggest thing, and I was very adamant about teaching people safety. And we come out here, and my problem, and this is kind of the
industry isn't out here yet.
It has come in,
back.
But it's not as full as you would think it is, because we don't get a lot of the feature films that we would used to get here.
That you're used to working with.
And it's been kind of an up and down roller coaster.
So what is it, mostly the hotels?
Not even that. We do a lot of stuff where we standbys for special events for the convention centers and the hotels.
Oh, that's right, because this is one of the biggest, probably, towns.
Largest for
convention centers. And I often say, why does everybody want to bring their convention here? But why not?
Yeah.
They've got the convention going during the day.
All day long.
And then they can play at night.
Play and have fun all
night long. And have fun and do whatever they want. And they're away from their families, whether it's a man or a woman, they can really have fun.
Yep, let your hair down. It's all about Vegas.
So what is the most exciting thing about what you're doing right now that you really feel you've fulfilled your life and you're really doing, what you want to do?
I think the education portion of it, I actually get to teach new generations of kids coming into the field.
That's
and
nice.
Actually help kind of mentor them and getting them into a perspective of where they want to go into the EMS field.
Yeah, because it seems like that they can be in this business for some years, because you've been in it for some years. So it seems it's more like a career. People don't think of that as being a career, I don't think.
No, a lot of people kind of think it's like a second line job, because we don't really get paid a lot in the industry that we do. No. Where if you're government or state or something like that, you get paid a lot more money than we do. And being in our positions, we're lucky if we can make $10 an hour or $15 an hour in the positions that we are.
Yeah. That's not very good, is it?
Yeah, and that's not just here. That's nationwide.
Nationwide.
So it's kind of a blanket effect.
It seems like it's a job of love.
It is.
It's a job of love that you do that not for money, you do it for helping.
When I tell the students, I started doing this back when I was making $5.50 an hour, and that was back in the 80s. And I go, you think about that to where now we're making $10 to $15 an hour. I go, it's a jump, but still, that's what we were doing back in those times, and that was kind of this.
Yeah. What message would you like to give to the younger generation that would like to come into this business? What message would you like to give them?
Don't kind of put yourself in that stereotype thinking that the job is going to be lights and sirens and what they talk about on TV. Hollywood is really good at kind of predicting something that's not really what our jobs are.
It's not really realistic.
Yeah, we deal with a lot of different things in our industry, and unfortunately we see a lot of hurting people, a lot of sick people, and a lot of death. Yeah. And it happens more frequently and more often, and it's one of those things that people need to understand. If
gotta have a gut. Gotta have a gut for death and seeing blood.
You gotta be able to have the understanding of what you're getting yourself into, and understand the job and the position and what you're going to be doing.
Absolutely. How can people reach you?
You can call us. Our phone numbers are 702-436-7911, or you can find us on the website at lasvegasambulance.com. We have numerous trainings for EMT programs, advanced training like that. We do first aid CPR training via active shooter. We've kind of morphed our position in our company into doing a lot more creative things in the world.
To make the job a little bit more enticing, a little bit more
out there,
a little free, a lot of stuff to do out there.
The biggest things that we're dealing with now, and kind of what I was out here today to talk to you about, is the industry that's bringing motion picture and television productions out here. Is they're not kind of directing the safe aspects of working on the film industries.
Oh, okay.
And Rich Hopkins, who is a very good friend of mine, who you very much know,
yes.
I worked with him a lot of times on film productions and stuff like that. And we get a lot of calls for people trying to do production work, and they're not going through the proper process. They show up and they think, well, we can just shoot in Vegas and do whatever we want.
But they need to get all the permits.
They have to get the permits. They got to go to the Nevada Film Office, got to talk to Danette, and be able to get your permits to do it properly and correctly, and not go out and do guerrilla videos.
No, I was actually down the other day and I was talking about my business to the office wherever I was to get a license. And they said I didn't need a license because I'm not making any money. So
right.
mine was quite simple. And I said, well, I'll be back down here when I make money because I'm going to get all these people that are going to sponsor us, that are going to advertise with us, which I know you're all out there and I know you're dying to get on this show because we do reach a lot of people. But I understand that. So that's what they need. You need to get a license like anything. You need a license.
You have to have your permits. Yeah.
Permits.
And that goes for production rentals. That goes from vehicle rentals. We rent out emergency vehicles that we have people. I have people calling me and want to rent one of our cop cars. And they're like, hey, I want to rent it for a wedding. Or I want to do a practical joke on somebody. And I'm like, it's a production vehicle. You can't really do that.
Can't do that with that, no, because it's a serious business.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, we're talking about serious. When an ambulance is out there, believe me, it's not out there for nothing. It's out there to save somebody.
Yep.
To help somebody and save somebody. So I think when you see an ambulance with the lights going on, it's not trying to get through traffic, it's trying to save someone's life. Because that's normally what it is for.
That's what it's for.
But it's wonderful. Yeah. I've learned an awful lot. Have we got everything out you need to get out?
I think so. Yeah, pretty much. We covered across.
And your number again out there so they can
area
reach you?
code 702-436-7911 is our dispatch office, or you can reach us on the internet at lasvegasambulance.com.
Absolutely amazing. You know, this is something I've never really interviewed about, how ambulances work and how, the people involved in it. So we've learned an awful lot, but let's have respect for them as well. We'll be right back. Vegas Live with Ninon.
Do you love the stories of Las Vegas? If you love the stories of Las Vegas, you need to subscribe and tune in to Vegas Live with Ninon.